Buongiorno everyone, welcome back to the Magpie Channel TV. Welcome back to Thursday Night Live at 7, your weekly Toon news show. Toon Talk Live, we're back. There's loads and loads to get through on the night show. Obviously, we're going to touch on the disappointment Dortmund defeat from last night. We've got all the Tonali stuff that's came out today. And as always, let me know your questions in the comments. I can see there's already a few in there before I've even went live, so big up everyone that was waiting. Do drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And remember that this video is brought to you by Circle. The QR code's in the top corner. Have a little scan of that. The link is in the description. Get involved in Circle. Football sweepstake betting app. Spin the wheel. Where it lands, you can become a millionaire. It's really that simple. So have a look at that if you wish. And just before we get into the show, I want to shout out my good friends at Man of the Match Football for sending this little beauty. Obviously, we hit 30,000 subscribers the other day, so thank you all for your support. And they sent me out a new little piece there, which obviously I'll put in a frame and whack it up somewhere proudly. 10 million views on YouTube, 30,000 subscribers, all the other achievements on there. And you can get your own personalised graphics on Man of the Match Football. You can see there they do the mugs, loads of stuff going on. So they've got some quality stuff over there at MOTM Football. Have a little Dixies at it sometime if you wish. Right then. Let's dive into the chat. Make sure you can see is all right, hear is all right. Get your questions in, and then obviously we'll go through the topics at hand. Stephen, bang, straight in there. 12:21, ages ago. Hours ago, that. What day is it now? So, yeah, 7 hours ago or something. What's your opinion in regards to signing a couple of free agents to help cover Tonali, Isak, and Murphy? Well, the worrying thing is if they're a free agent in nearly November, with November being what, next week, then it's worrying to me. They're probably a free agent for a reason, mate. Obviously, Hazard was a free agent. He just decided to retire now and just enjoy the chippy. So he's going to have a nice time. And I'm not even sure who else is on the free agent list. If you can let me know, Stephen, who else is available. I haven't had time to look. I mean, if there was someone out there worthwhile, then aye, why not? Because the injuries are piling up. There's obviously one of the big unfortunate things that came out of last night. And what really did unsettle us was those injuries. You know, once Isak went off, we really struggled for me. We really did struggle. You could tell that Wilson just didn't look that sharp. We couldn't get the fluidity going. It got even worse when the likes of Murphy came on, dislocated his shoulder, then he has to come off within minutes. You know, it was far from ideal. And as you mentioned there, including Tonali and that, who we now know is confirmed to be out for 10 months. Much more on that soon. Tonali's ban confirmed for 10 months from now until August 2024. So there is a stockpile of missing players gathering at Newcastle United, especially in that midfield area. No Tonali now. Anderson is out for a few weeks. Eddie Howe revealed last night Elliot Anderson is suffering with a back problem, so he's going to be out for a couple of weeks at least, maybe even a month or so plus. And then today, according to a couple of journalists, that Isak's going to be out for the next 5 games potentially. Alexander Isak could miss the next 5 games. He might not be back until after the international break. So that's not what you want to hear, considering the amount of games that we have got coming up. Obviously, got Wolves away in, 48 hours, less than that now. Then we've got, Man U away next Wednesday in the Carabao Cup. Arsenal at home next Saturday. And then we'll play Dortmund again already. Less than 2 weeks to get revenge on the Germans. Going to be very difficult in their back garden, to be honest with you. I didn't want to say backyard, sounds too American, but back garden probably sounds ridiculous. In their stadium, the Yellow Wall, that'll be interesting. Going to have a headache for that one, definitely. Them drumming. I can still hear the drums now. I could hear them all night, giving us nightmares, them German drummers. But lots of games coming up, lots of injuries, so it is going to be hard. But we knew what we're in for. People are going to have to step up now. People are going to have to step up. The worrying thing is who can step up. When you look at Murphy getting injured on the right, the only the right winger we have is Miggy Almiron, isn't it? And then Gordon on the left, our backup left winger, Harvey Barnes, he's still out until the new year. Striker, there's one of them now, Wilson, and he's only just got back from injury himself. So it's looking a cause for concern. Definitely is looking a cause for concern, these injuries. But for now, we'll keep the faith because we have been doing very well until last night's result. But Stephen, free agents, I don't know about that one. I'm not really sure who is available. Let us know what decent players are. Link below as examples. If he's put it, he says. I haven't seen it anywhere. But yeah, let us know what you think in the chat. Should we dip into the free agent market? It's not something I would imagine Newcastle to do. Can any youngsters step up though? Obviously, Louis Miley, if he's back from he had glandular fever, if he can come back into the fold, that would be a boost. And then there's really not many else. If you look around at the youth team, like it's a shame there's not an up and coming striker where we think, I could just chuck him on the bench, see if he can have a good 10 minutes here or there. We haven't really got one at the minute. But we'll wait and see. I'm sure Eddie Howe's going to have something planned and a trick up his sleeve. Obviously, Rashi 10 saying, AC Milan scammed us. They know what they're doing with the gambling. Well, that was the big question on it. We'll talk about that in a minute. We'll just get into the chat first. Shout out Jessica, who's in here again. Snacks set ready for the show. Love it. Snacks and a coffee. No drink for me tonight. I had a couple of pints last night, so no Thirsty Thursday. It's just the old iron brew keeping us going tonight. So taking it easy. Nice and easy. Evening, Jackie. People talking about Isak's, the lack of threat since he came off the bench last night. And let's be honest, Wilson did miss a very good couple of chances, didn't he? He should have scored that chance in the second half where the keeper saves it. And he should have, the one that went off the bar, he's got to do better there as well. Aaron's in as always. Shout out you, mate. Mid reinforces. We need players with Champions League experience. Well, the main reason we're saying Tonali was obviously his youth potential going forward, but his Champions League experience. He was in the semi-final facing Milan last season, and unfortunately, he can't play the Champions League anymore. So that's unlucky, isn't it? Because that's why Tonali was brought in, to be that Champions League experience. Those drummers are bummers, says Davey. Indeed, they were bumming all night. I bet they were, them Germans on the big market. Just that one, Tony, and thanks to everyone else that has subscribed to the channel. If you haven't already, please do. What do you think of Dani Ceballos as a Tonali replacement and Fabiano Parisi? Torino. Never heard of Parisi. And Ceballos, he was at Arsenal one and he didn't impress me that much. But I mean, if the injuries keep mounting up, maybe, but I'm not that fussed on them too, mate. Evening, Ryan. When will Tonali be able to play again in the first game of new season? Well, at first they said he would be ready for July, August, and now they're saying it could be the end of August. So if it is the end of August, obviously he would miss the first few games of the season, wouldn't he? So all we've got at the minute is August 2024. We know he's missing the Euros as well, which is going to be a big blow for him. You know what I mean? He'll be devastated because those tournaments only come around every few years, and luckily he's got age on his side, only 23 years old, sound of Tonali, but for the meantime, you'll be gutted next summer that he's missing. But he'll be good. He'll be gutted. You'd hope, and I'm sure he is gutted that he's missing Dortmund away as well. And missing Arsenal at home next Saturday is a huge game and always a top event. So it's a nightmare for him. It's devastating for us, and it's devastating for him as well. I've seen a lot of people talk about this on social media today. We need McTominay, obviously. Long linked to Newcastle United, Scott McTominay, heavily linked for quite a while now, quite a few seasons to be honest. And again, people were saying that's the type of player we need. Obviously, he seems to score goals, play further forward for Scotland. He's trying to do that a little bit for Man United now. And I guess he would do well for us in the middle of the park. I think he is underrated. I quite like him. But for now, I don't think we'll, because Man United want decent money for him, don't they? I think they turned down, 40 million from West Ham in the summer. So we wouldn't pay more than that for McTominay. I don't think. I think we'd have bigger targets elsewhere, really. So that's where probably a Calvin Phillips on loan would come in instead. Tony, will Tonali still be getting paid while on a ban? No, he won't. According to Fabrizio Romano, he is saying that Tonali's pay will be suspended for the whole 10 months. So he will be out of a payment for that, which, to be fair, it's his fault. What's happened? Obviously, he's got an addiction, bad crack, but not the crack, he's gambling. But it's a shame that he's got the addiction. But at the end of the day, he was doing something he knew he shouldn't have. So he's got to pay the consequences. Do you know what I mean? He has got to pay the consequences on that one. So I'm sure he's got enough sitting in the kitty anyway to tide him over, and he'll probably still be getting sponsorship deals maybe, or there might be so long where the club don't pay him for a few months and then they start paying him again, or they might pay him a reduced wage. But for Richard Romano was saying he won't be getting paid when he's suspended. So 10 months without He's which is nearly set. He's on 7 million a year, Sandro Tonali, so he's missing out on a good 6 million, isn't he? So, but just I think he'll be alright. I think he'll be alright, to be honest with you. To be fair, he can come work for me if he wants for a bit, Sandro. Do you know what I mean? If he's any good at editing or graphic design, cameraman. You know what I mean? He can come do the fan cams with me. So there's a job out there for Tonali. He'll be alright. That or he'll just start serving Moretti at spoons. Nice to see you yesterday, mate. Thanks, Stuart. Nice meeting you too. Big bonus is what Tony said. Yeah, we're just going to jump into the comments and just have a bit of crack with you lot while the show's on. To be fair, we'll touch on Tonali stuff as we go. And Tony brings up the great point that one positive is that Sandro Tonali can train for the next 10 months. So he will be involved with the Newcastle squad on a day-to-day basis, which is huge. That's massive. You know, it really is, because the thing with Ivan Toney, he wasn't allowed anywhere near the training ground for the first few months, was he? Totally banned from all football activities. Wasn't even allowed to do kicky-ups in his garden. Do you know, totally not allowed to do a thing. Whereas Tonali can go. At least he's still got his routine. He's still got his day-to-day. He's still got his purpose. He can still chip in on the training ground. Listen, that's a huge positive for me that he can train, because he can continue to have an impact, hopefully, at least on practice, at least in the dressing room. You know, Sean Longstaff spoke of his admiration this week for Tonali, saying he's a world-class player and he's learning off him, and he wants to keep working with him. So it's things like that where the Maileys, the Longstaffs, the Andersons, and everybody can learn off of Tonali, because we haven't quite seen it yet, but he is a top class talent. He is an Italy international. He was Milan's captain. He is a player, and it will come. Really hope it does come in a Newcastle shape, but he's going to offer a lot on that training ground still. So that's a huge positive for me. It's a big bonus that he can be in and around the group. He can continue to get involved in the team spirit and be part of that camaraderie, because listen, the likes of Matt Ritchie and that, they don't play. And look at what happened to Dummy. He hadn't played for over a year. He stepped in, did a job. So there's players that are in there that are important in the dressing room, and hopefully tonight he can be one of them, and he can keep improving himself as a player on the training pitch, and then obviously help others around him as well. You know, he should be seen as a bit of a someone that the youth can learn off. Do you know what I mean? He should be hopefully spending time in the academies and stuff as well, and that'll give him something to do and something to hold on to, I think, during this 10-month spell where he can't play. So that's a huge bonus, definitely a huge bonus. If Wilson gets injured, I don't know what's going to happen. Let me know in the comment what you think is going to happen. I'm going to take a sip of this and I'll let you know. We're knackered, basically. That's what's going to happen. We're absolutely done in. I'll tell you what will happen is Gordon will have to play as a striker. He did that for England at the Under-21 Euros as a bit of a false nine at times. That is literally the only option. Eddie Howe said it in the summer when he was asked. He said it would be Gordon or Joe Linton, who could be a striker. Now, we know Joe Linton isn't a striker. We know he's a bloody good midfielder, but he's not. He's a bloody bad forward. He's not a striker, right? So what could end up happening is Joe Linton or Joe Willock going on the left to replace where Gordon would be, though, because of injuries to Barnes and stuff. And obviously, we've seen that rotation last season where Joe Linton and Willock swapped on the left flank. And then Gordon can come down the middle. And play as that striker, which isn't ideal because he missed a good chance last night, and I think would lose that cutting edge that we've got with his pace on the left, causes a lot of problems getting up and down the flank. So it wouldn't be ideal, but the injury situation isn't ideal, and I can't think of anything else we could do. Let me know in the chat what you think is an alternative if Wilson did get injured, and we know Isak's probably going to be out for a few weeks now. What can we do? So, I mean, unless you would change formation, we're just going to have to do a madness and just play with like a false nine. Who can you put up there? You know, it's struggling. But this is what Eddie Howe gets paid for. This is what Jones, Tyndall, all of them get a decent salary for. So I'm sure they're working on options now, because with Callum Wilson, it's normally when he's going to get injured, not if he's going to get injured. So bit of a nightmare. We need to be getting someone better than McTominay, says Aaron. We need a number 6, play Bruno further forward. How come Brescia and Milan get off scot-free from the Tonali ban, says Richard? Good question. Good question. No idea. Bring back Minna. He's from loan. I would love to, but I don't think we can. I don't think the club would either. I would do it right now, to be honest. Or at least if Wilson gets injured, I'd be straight over there. He'd be straight on the next EasyJet coming back from Holland. Because for me, he's the only other striker we've got in the books, I think, really, isn't he? And obviously, Garang Kual, who everything's went quiet on him, hasn't it? So Minta would be a good option with how well he's doing over there in Feyenoord. You know, he's banging them in for them. He's getting Champions League experience, so it wouldn't be a bad shout. It'd be fair to have Yankuba Minta back in the Toon, but for one, I'm not sure if we can, and I'm not sure if there is an obligation to bring him back, because sometimes clubs want him for the full season. Feyenoord definitely want him for the full season, the way he's been playing. And then would Newcastle want to unsettle the player? You know, young lad, just getting used to that country, getting used to that league, those teammates. If you bring him back, it may do more damage than good, especially long term, really. So it's a tough situation, but I tell you what, we might be out of options, to be honest. So if there's a chance to do it, we might have to take it. Tough few weeks coming up for the lads. You're damn right it is. Loads of hard games in different competitions. If we don't get something from Dortmund away, do you think that's us not getting the knockouts? Nah, definitely not. It's looking like probably 8-9 points. Probably 9 points to get you out of the group. But if we don't get anything off Dortmund, that would overtake. It is hard, isn't it? But listen, I remember in Sir Bobby Robson's days where we lost the first 3 group games, 0 points, and we end up winning the last 3 group games, going through with 9 points. So I wouldn't say that I would write off our chances, because it'd still be 2 games to go. I'd think if we got beat off Dortmund, then we would need 4 points at least from the last 2 games, wouldn't we? Have to draw or beat PSG away, and then the same at Milan. Say we've got to draw PSG and then beat Milan at home. I think that would be enough. Vice versa, however you want to do it. But it's made life a lot trickier, hasn't it? And it's really made the group of death a lot tighter. You know, if Newcastle won last night, we're favourites to finish top, really, although PSG got a good win. Now, it's very, very close, isn't it? It's wide open, that group of death. But there'll be twists and turns. I'm still batting us to get out of it. I hope we'll at least finish third, mate, because if we finish bottom of that group after being top after 2 games, that would be dreadful. That would be devastating. But I look at it and I think, I know obviously I want to go far in the Champions League, and I think we are capable of going far in the Champions League. I really do, but I think if we're finished third in the group, it wouldn't be the end of the world. For me, it wouldn't. Going into the Europa League, get some more European experience, would have a better chance of winning that, you'd think. It wouldn't be the end of the world. But finishing bottom and then having no European competition to be in will be a huge blow, when I'm just getting the taste for it. I'm just getting used to it. Just getting used to it. How was the atmosphere last night? Seeing a lot of people complain about the atmosphere and it not being as good as it should be. This is going to be a topic for another video, I think, but I'll quickly touch on it because, that's what I do here, answer your questions. I would say, and I'll bring up Aaron's comments just so I can get it on the screen so everyone knows what I'm talking about, because I know a lot of people do come back and watch this show after it's been up, but they can't watch it live. A lot of them watch it tonight or tomorrow. So there's Aaron's question there. I thought it was really good for the first 10 minutes. I thought it was unbelievable, as it should be when the Champions League anthem is on. And before that, the war flags, shout out them again. The display was unreal. I'm sure you've seen it, but if you haven't, I've put some good clips of it on social media, on the Magpie channel on Instagram. And it was fantastic then. The first 5-10 was brilliant. It was just like PSG. There was crunching tackles. The crowd were getting up for it. We were turning around. Shaw was giving it all that to the crowd. Gordon again, just like the PSG game. And then Gordon, speaking to him, goes through one-on-one, hits it straight at the keeper. And you think, man, if that goes in, that's another PSG night. I think we'll go on and score a few goals there. And we all have a really good time. We're quiet, the Germans, up in level 7. But from then, Isak goes off and it just goes downhill. We just lose that belief, that build-up, that momentum, everything just went out the window for quite a bit. The second half was a lot better. Created chances, hit the bar on that. That game needed a goal from us. I think if one of those chances go in, the crossbars or the Wilson where he hits it straight at the keeper from about 2 yards out, got to score there like Calm Wilson. You'd bet on him to score there every day, wouldn't you? One of them goes in, the roof gets raised, and then we'll push on, and you never know, we'll probably end up nicking the game, maybe. We'll probably end up nicking a winner. We'll push the ball over the line, the 12th man again, but I think it was a struggle last night, and I seen some nasty scenes. To be honest, in the Leazers end where I was, there was some nasty stuff going on last night where people were shouting at other people for not singing. Which I'm kind of on board with to a sense, but some of it just got a bit ugly where they were just griefing like teenage foreign kids were getting loads of grief and all that, and they were shouting and swearing. I thought that was bad crack for me. That wasn't on. That's not the way to go about it. I get there's loyal fans around there, and we've got this problem now where you've got the ticket touts who are selling them off for huge sums, and people are buying them. People are buying them for way over the value. They're pricing out a lot of local people, and you're going to see your tourists, your students, loads of these people coming to the game, and that obviously will flatten the atmosphere. It will, and that was in the Leazers. And then, but I heard as well, the Gallagher, my mate was in the strawberry corner, and even he was saying, like this whole standing section was meant to boost the atmosphere, and last night it seemed a bit flat in there, in large parts. So it doesn't help as well that the weather and the way the game was going, and it was just with the injuries and that, and it just wasn't our night. It wasn't meant to be. It was just always going to be there for me. And I tell you what, it didn't help with the bloody German drummer. It really didn't. And PSG tried it, but we're quieting them because we put 4 past them. But these drums, man, what's going on? They need to get banned. That if you see an away fan climbing up level 7 steps with a drum, stop them. It shouldn't be allowed. Stewards, everything should be done. Stop the drummers. Because you can't hear a fucking thing. Your head's banging all night. You can't hear a thing. We can't oversing them, but you can't hear anything else. You can't see. It ruins it for me. It's like bloody Vuvuzelas back in the World Cup. It just takes over everything, and it's just a bit boring. We banged it every 20 minutes. You'd think to get a song going. I'd let them off if they banged it for a couple of minutes every 20 minutes. That's all right, but fucking 90 minutes drumming. You know what I mean? I'm not at a Led Zeppelin costing it. It's not Woodstock. Do you know what I mean? It's not. This is Champions League. Can you stop banging the drum, please? It's bang out of order, is what it is. They need to get rid of that drum and stop killing the atmosphere. Because all I can hear is that drum in my ear. Now, still, 24 hours later. I've been trying to sort my TV to get Circle in the picture. You should be able to see Circle in the picture. Let us know if you can. If you can't, links also in the description, though, Richard, if you're having trouble scanning the QR code. And like I said, for a couple of quid, you can become a millionaire, and it's just a bit of luck, really. Something Newcastle didn't have last night. It's just like Wheel of Fortune, but for football. It's good crack. It's good fun. Gamble responsibly, as always. You should know this by now. What else we got then? Loan Ruben Neves from January to summer. Absolutely, let's do it. I would love to see Ruben Neves at the 290 quality. Willis came back at a good time. Definitely has, but it doesn't help that everyone else has fallen away behind him. We finally get back Joe Linton and Joe Willock, and then your Murphys and your Andersons are out, or then your Tonali's gone, and Isaac's out, and oh man, I'm good. Even things like Harvey Barnes being out for so long, I think we're quickly forgetting about Harvey Barnes. I think Barnes is a quality player. He showed it early on in the season, especially in pre-season as well, and he's shown it for Leicester. He can get really good goal contributions, Harvey Barnes, and we're missing that at the same time. It gives it another option. It gives an attacking force, and it is just strange at the minute. It is just strange at the minute. I can see a question there from Super Plug. If you finish third in the group, do you go to the knockouts? No, you go down to the Europa League. So obviously first and second go through to the knockouts in the Champions League. Third goes to the Europa League, and fourth goes home. So that's why I was saying we want to at least finish third, so we're still in the Europa League. But for now, let's be confident, man. Let's keep on track here. It's not the end of the world. We've lost one game. We've also won one, and we've drew one. The group's wide open. Still 3 games to go. Still a lot of tales to be told, to be honest. So we'll see how it pans out. She has Louis for pointing out that the circle link is in the description as well for Richard. Ronald, didn't have it's my Wi-Fi, but this keeps stalling. Oh, yeah, same. Says Louis. That's not good. It freezes up. Hopefully that's not the crack. Let's sign Serhu Guirassy, 50 million release clause. I think everybody in the world wants to sign him at the minute, don't they? He's on fire in the Bundesliga. Top talent. Can't believe his release clause is that cheap. How the hell anyone's got to be with that one? get him in. But I think everybody wants him in this January window. The next window, those offers, I'll be surprised if they're not from a bump a new deal just so they can change the release clause. But aye, madness that. Madness. Have you seen the Dortmund bus got a parking fine? I have indeed. I saw the video of that one where the the Dortmund. Let's see if I can get it up for you. For those that haven't seen it, not freezing for me, says the missus. So that's all right. So it must be all your sort your Wi-Fi out, people. Right? Should be all right. It should be all right. Hopefully, if not, apologies. But now I can do about it. StreamYard. But it seems all right on our end, and other people are saying it's fine. So that's good. Where was I? Trying to get the video of the Dortmund bus getting a parking ticket down timeout. Good crack. That's what we like to see. He's giving him a ticket. That bloke's currently. But there's the start from the beginning for you so you can actually see what I'm talking about. There's the Dortmund bus getting a ticket on timeout. We'll love to see it. That's what you get. Not that it really bothers them, does it? I don't know why he's bothering. He's just put a £70 fine on a bus that's probably worth about 700 grand with all the technology inside of it, and everyone on that bus is earning millions a year. So it's not like it's going to affect them, but it's still funny, isn't it? Still funny. Getting a rivalry now. Ref was crap last night, say a few people. Totally agree with that. He was really, really bad, the ref. Really, really bad. Really bad. Mainly impressed with our attacking pace, says Davey. We need a drum kit, piano, and brass band in the Gallagher, says Tony. Get on it. Let's get down. Catching up with the comments now, people, so keep them coming in. Please do subscribe if you haven't already. We can go nearly half an hour flying over. I've still got a few things to do tonight, so we'll probably keep it a bit shorter than usual. But we're half an hour deep already. We'll go for another 5-10 at least, so get your comments in. I've still got a few things to talk about. We're going to talk about, we've kind of touched on Tonali. Maybe we'll expand a tiny bit more. We've got the Wolves preview coming tomorrow after the press conference. And we want to talk about the fixture lists that have been released, the TV schedule for Christmas that's been released today. Some big changes to our fixtures, so we'll get at them soon if you aren't aware of them. But where was I? I think I've just about caught up. Chris is asking a question there about the strikers. We talked about that earlier, so we'll leave that out. You can hit rewind, mate, afterwards and go back and listen to that one. That's the one, Stuart. Thanks very much. Do hit the like button if you haven't already. It's free. Doesn't cost anything. Doesn't cost anything to subscribe either, to be honest. So do both, please. Thank you. Green Street Football Factory or the Firm with a bevy and some scram. Which one are you watching? That's a tough question, that. I'm going to go Football Factory. All three, though. Very good. Football Factory, though, for me. Who do you think is faster with 30-yard? Gordon, Murphy, or Almiron? Gordon. He was the fastest player in the Premier League until Mudryk came in, apparently. But Gordon was... Gordon would definitely do them, I reckon. What's more important, says Ruben. New striker or Tonali repeat? New striker, because our strikers are hella injury prone at the minute. Isaac's out again. Wilson's just been out, just came back. And we've only got the two anyway. Even if they were both fit, I think we need another option because I like Isaac's versatility off the left-hand side. And all the competitions we're in, we need more off the bench for me. So new striker all day long. I think Tonali... It's not the worst thing in the world, to be honest, the Tonali ban. It's far from ideal. It's crap. It's bad luck. It's a shame. We've just spent all the money on him just to dampen the country, the league and everything. And then this happens. It's a massive nightmare. But in terms of positions, at least it's not Isaac that's been ruled out for 10 months. Or even Gordon or Botman, even though he has been for a little bit. Or Trippier or Bruno. You know, there's a lot more players that I would miss more than Tonali, to be honest with you. Not that I'm not going to miss him. I really can't wait to see him strive in the black and white shirt. But for now, we'll look at that midfield and the balance is there. Anyway, Longstaff, Bruno, Joe, fantastic midfield. Willock's coming back. I like Anderson. So, you know, it's not like it's just when the injuries come is when it proves tricky. But for now, for the ones I've listed, there's decent options there. So for me, when you look at, you've got 5 or 6 midfielders there, and you've got 2 strikers in Isak and Wilson, and you've never really got 2 because one of them is always injured. So striker all day long for me. Striker all day long. It definitely is needed now after Murphy being injured. Dislocated shoulder for Jacob Murphy after his best game ever for Newcastle last weekend against Crystal Palace. His best performance for me, Newcastle shirt, 2 assists and a goal, and then he's unlucky as well, getting injured there. What a shame that is, and one of those freak injuries. But it's probably going to be lengthy on the touchline, depending on how bad the dislocation was, because Robertson, the Liverpool fullback for Scotland, dislocated his shoulder the other week, and he's ended up out for months. So if it's anything like that, then it's going to be stinking that Murphy's going to have that long on the sidelines. And like Aaron's saying, Almiron, some weeks he looks amazing. He scores that wonder goal against, was it Burnley? A few weeks back, he scores goals at that, and then some games he frustrates you. But I still like Almiron, but definitely down the right, I think anyways, we needed that next level. And now that Murphy's injured and inconsistencies from both, right winger is madly needed for me. It really is. So hopefully we can get one in January. At the end of the day, we hit the woodwork a few times. Wilson should have buried his chance on another day that went in. On another day, we easily win that game. And we're coming away thinking, oh, isn't this class? Top of the group of death. We're bruised. We're flying here. Cruised past it. So it's one of those things, isn't it? I said it on the match reaction last night. It's just one of those nights. Ball's not going in the back of the net. Nothing we can do about it. You're going to have those games then. You're going to have those games where it just doesn't happen for you. Right then, we'll keep your comments coming in. People will do another 5 minutes or so. What else I had to talk about was the fixture list for January. Well, we've got one in January so far, but it's obviously mainly the Christmas schedule that has been announced for television. And as always, it's absolutely mental. But at least we are not playing on Christmas Eve like Chelsea are. I think it's Chelsea that are playing on Christmas Eve now. That's a joke. That is an absolute joke. I just want to check that was correct. I'm sure I've seen it earlier that we knew the other day, didn't we, that that they were going to add a Christmas Eve game to the schedule, which is nuts, man. Christmas Eve is all about sitting on the sofa, eating celebrations, watching Home Alone. You don't want to be travelling to watch your team play. And even watching football on Christmas Eve, I think it's nicest to have that time with your family or with your partner or whatever. Do you know what I mean? You just want to chill out on Christmas and literally just watch Christmas films, get amongst the Christmas vibes, get in the Christmas spirit of things. You know what I mean? Watching Wolves versus Chelsea on Christmas Eve. Those fans from London, to be fair, travelling to Wolverhampton on Christmas Eve. And again, you're probably going to have to drive there. What are you going to do? How much public transport is going to be on? That is an absolute joke. Absolute joke. Christmas Eve games, man. Shambolic. But Wolves versus Chelsea on Christmas Eve. I think I'll be watching Elf instead of that one. I'd rather watch Elf than Chelsea and Wolves. Do you know what I mean? Why would I rather watch Cole Palmer than Elf? I wouldn't. So, 5 of Newcastle United's festive fixtures have been given new dates or kick-off times in the latest round of Premier League fixture amendments. First one, and this one is always a banger. This is absolutely guaranteed all of the time, every season, forever, until Everton get relegated this season. If it is true that they're going to get a 12-point deduction for final financial fair play regulations being broken, is what the latest news is. Daishi's men set to be deducted up to 12 points. That would kill them right off. But what I was saying is a banger is a midweek trip to Goodison Park. Always happens. Newcastle never play Everton on a weekend, on a Saturday or a Sunday, not even a Friday or a Monday night football. It is forever a Tuesday or a Thursday night. Well then, this one, initially set for Tuesday the 5th of December at 7:45, will now take place on Thursday the 7th of December at 7:30. So the Everton game has been moved to Thursday the 7th of December, 7:30 kick-off, and it'll be on Amazon Prime. The game against Spurs that was scheduled for Saturday the 9th of December is now on a Sunday. So there's a nice away day around where a lot of people got work on the Monday and they can't enjoy it as much now that it's on a Sunday. 4:30 kick-off, and it will be broadcast live on Sky Sports. Eddie Howe's side then take on Nottingham Forest at St James's Park, still on Boxing Day. The Boxing Day kick-off still remains, and thankfully we're at home for a change on Boxing Day. Normally we're always away. This game will now kick off at 12:30 instead of 3. So your Christmas Day night, you know, you're full of your turkey and your Yorkshire puddings. And then on the night time, you're going to bed and you've got to get up a little bit earlier now because it's a 12:30 kick-off on Boxing Day. Again, bit of a nightmare for travelling, and especially for fans that aren't living in Newcastle and are driving up from elsewhere and whatnot. Shout out Irish Dan as well. I met him in the concourse last night at half-time. Big fan of the channel. And he was flying from Ireland last night, got there like an hour before the game, and his flight was an hour after the game. And he gets back early hours of the morning. So respect to him and fans like that do these type of trips, you know. So things like this, 12:30 hit off on Boxing Day, again on Amazon Prime. Not ideal. Not ideal, that is it really. And then it gets even worse for mainly, again, just travelling and getting there into their plans. Newcastle's game against Liverpool at Anfield, which had been set for Saturday the 30th of December at 3 p.m. Good old-fashioned Saturday kick-off. Nice away day. Saturday morning. Get on the train, coach, however you want to get there. Get there at a nice time. Enjoy the pub beforehand. You're in the ground too, 2:30. Nice one. Not anymore. Not anymore. That's been moved from Saturday the 30th of December all the way to New Year's Day. So a good few days difference in that one now. And it will be on the 1st of January, 8 p.m. New Year's Day, nearly bloody the 2nd of January. So 8 p.m. kickoff on Monday the 1st of January at Anfield. Again, nightmare for travelling. Nightmare for travelling that. So that's a joke. Again, crap. And that'll be on Sky Sports. And then Man City come to Newcastle in January. So there is more than one January game here. That was scheduled for 3 o'clock on a Saturday. Again, I can make the old 3 o'clock analogy there and discuss how nice of a day that would have been. This one's alright though. It's now been moved to 5:30. I don't mind a 5:30 kick-off on the Saturday. It gives you a bit more time to get up and enjoy your day. So I'm alright with that one. That's the only good change, I think. That's the only good one out of all them changes. So Man City, 13th of January from 3 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. on T&T Sports. So lots of changes there. More to come, depending on what happens in the Champions League and Carabao Cup and FA Cup then starts in January. So there's loads of changes to be made. Right then, people, last few questions. Get your last few comments in and we'll sign off. Make sure you do have a look at Circle if you fancy it. QR code in the top corner of your screen. Link is in the description. Have a little look at Circle there. Nice, fun, easy game, and you can win some nice, fun cashola. Let me scroll up a little bit and answer the last few of your questions. Bruno has to be very careful as well. If he gets a yellow card, he misses one game. I don't know if that's past now. Is that not before Palace or is that still the crack? It may still be the crack, mate. I'm not sure. But if it is, then that's probably going to happen because it's not many games that Bruno doesn't get a book in. I like this from Lewis. This is a very good point, and it's so true. When one thing happens to Newcastle, everything happens to Newcastle. It really does. It's never just one thing, is it, where you think, oh, it's a nightmare that Murphy's injured. No, it's at the same time that Tonali's now banned. It's the same time as Anderson's injured. It's the same time, the list goes on. So, yeah, it's not just one thing where you think, oh, Harvey Barnes is going to be out for half the season. Nope, now Tonali's out for the full season. Things, domino effect, the snowball. You know what I mean? One thing goes wrong, everything goes down. But let's not have that attitude. Let's remain positive. We've still got a very good squad. Well, lack of depth, but you know what I mean. We're still flying, man. We're still doing very well. We've got a top manager in Eddie Howe. I'm sure we'll be sound, and we can still have a quality season. Don't worry about that. So let's not be downbeat. Let's keep it up. Hi, Matty. Can you give me son a big shout? He loves watching you, every one of your videos. Shout out, Marley. Hope you're doing well, Marley, mate. Enjoying yourself. There you go. Thanks for watching the channel and supporting it. Appreciate it. I'll be watching Die Hard. Me too. Quality Christmas film. I won't hear it any other way. That was going back to the Christmas Eve comment, by the way. People may be watching it now thinking, why they're talking about Christmas films. Because there's now fixtures on Christmas Eve. Terrible crack. Right then, what we got? If you could buy any striker in January, who would you buy? Victor Boniface. I mentioned him last week on the Toon Talk Live, the Thursday night show. Victor Boniface, for me, quality 22-year-old Nigerian. He's about 6'4". He's banging goals in for fun. He would give us a different option up top. And he would be that young, hungry striker that we need to challenge your Wilsons, your Isak, and he'll know that he hasn't got a guarantee to come in and start straight away. So I'd go for Boniface, someone like that, a young, hungry striker from across Europe who can come in, threaten, gives a bit of a different option, and challenge Wilson and Isak. I mean, if we've got a lot of money to spend, FFP and all that, I'd go in for Tony. I'd go in for someone like that. Do you know what I mean? But at the same time, what can we afford and how much will it cost? Well, saying that Boniface won't be cheap, but yeah, it all depends. All depends. All depends on what happens in January, but we definitely need a striker for me. So I'll go Boniface. Right then, people, that'll do for tonight's live show, sponsored by Circle. QR code in the top corner if you want to check it out, as well as in the link in the description. Please do give this one a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Stay tuned to Magpie Channel TV. We've got maybe even 2 videos coming tomorrow, at least one, the match preview and the reaction to Eddie Howe's press conference. And then I've got another video lined up, but that may get released at a later date. And then Saturday, we'll have all the Wolves content as well. So make sure you do hit the subscribe button so you get notified on all the best Newcastle United content. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Really appreciate your support. Please do subscribe to the Magpie Channel TV if you haven't already. Drop a like on this one and enjoy yourself. See you on the next one, people. Take it easy.